Thank you to President-elect Elizabeth for hitting the record button. She saw me hovering around. Thank you for that. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Flint. Today is January 20, 2022. Our honorary bell ringer for January 28th. Our guest speaker works in what I would call grassroots entrepreneurship in our community. And so there's a grassroots entrepreneur from California, Glenn Bell Jr. Glenn Bell Jr. was a cook in the military in World War II. Part of that experience, he had gone to high school in California, went back, worked in a kitchen in San Bernardino. And he was making hot dogs and hamburgers, a couple stands, and decided he learned how to make tacos at the kitchen he worked at San Bernardino. He started a taco place, and he sold it in 1962. Like most good entrepreneurs, he opened up the same business again, another taco place. Started franchising it, and today this little taco place, Taco Bell, has over 7,000 locations in 31 countries around the world. And Glenn has absolutely no Hispanic or Latin heritage in his background. He's been in agents everywhere in Europe and nothing close to Latin America.
Crazy.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And
and to the republic
for which
it stands,
one nation,
under
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we test of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth?
Truth.
Fair to all
Fair to all
concerned.
concerned.
Will it build goodwill and better friendship?
friendship.
Will it be beneficial to all?
To all concerned.
Our inspirational message is by Julie.
Love to see her.
Don't touch it. Good afternoon. Nice to be back here again. A couple weeks ago, I had the opportunity to share my thoughts with you, and I encouraged you at the end to go home and tell all those you love that you do, and try to do that every day. Well, my husband and I have been corralled inside, and I've been reading these little small books, and I came up with another one, and it was called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it reminded me of something that I experienced as a Rotarian, but really also as the president of Baker College. I was invited to speak before a men's group, which I agreed to do. Now, you know, inspirational messages are usually the last thing we Rotarians sign up for. I don't know if it's intimidating or what, but at any rate, on this occasion, I was asked to speak at a breakfast club, and it happened to be all men and me. I was forewarned by a fellow Rotarian, Ken Rice, that one of the gentlemen was always there. He always sat front row, kind of where the net is, but not to feel bad if he fell asleep. Well, fair warned, I was glad because I wasn't into my remarks. 30 seconds and gently snoring at the table in front of me was this gentleman. I proceeded, as I'm going to do now. What I read this time was, we should look more at somebody right in the eye and tell them more, something about them that we really appreciate or that we're really thankful for. And it reminded me of when I was first married. My husband often and I would be chatting, but often he would be off in another direction, not entirely listening. I would grab him by the cheeks and look here. I'm talking to you, hon. Okay. So on Sunday, Tom and I have been having a problem with the Optum RX prescriptions he gets. And finally, Sunday, I thought, I'm going to try on Sunday. Maybe I'll get through and get somebody that was good. And sure enough, I got Roger. And Roger said, just tell me what your needs are. I'll help you. Okay. We did. He did. All resolved. And I just said to him, thank you. And thank you so much for working on Sunday. And he said, you know, I've worked here 11 years and I've had to work many Sunday shifts, and it's okay. That's my job. But I have never had anyone, let alone you and your husband, tell me thank you. So Rotarians, I'm going to practice what I preached. Thank you for not sweeping while I'm talking. Please go look someone in the eye and tell them thank you.
Good.
I'll add to that, that if you're in a restaurant, say thank you with words and with dollars as well. Please enjoy your lunch, Rotarians and guests on the Zoom.
Careful what you say.
Practice for a week, so. You know, Mike, actually, fun fact, I did as a kid and ended up doing public speaking in high school. Thank you all for coming back together. I want to recognize a moment that our country and our world celebrated yesterday in honor, which is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. January 27th is designated by the United Nations General Assembly as International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Since 2005, the United Nations and its member states have held commemoration ceremonies to mark the anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau and to honor the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust and millions of other victims of Nazism. The purpose of International Holocaust Remembrance Day is twofold: to serve as a day for official commemoration of the victims of the Nazi regime and to protest Holocaust education throughout the world. Since 2010, the United Nations has designated specific themes for the annual commemoration that focus on topics such as collective experiences and universal human rights. This tragic event, of course, we know as the Holocaust. Occurred in World War II, when Nazi Germany killed millions of innocent victims. Genocide occurs when those of a particular ethnic or other identity group are deliberately killed for that purpose. We know that 6 million Jewish individuals were killed, millions of other Soviet civilians, Polish civilians, Serbs,
Rotary.
250,000 individuals with disabilities, 250,000 gypsies, Jehovah's Witnesses, and homosexuals were all killed during this tragedy. Now, what was yesterday, I think it's appropriate today that we still honor their legacy, their lives, and remember. Please join me in their silence. There is no way to transition from that. Maybe the only appropriate way is actually that today is global community engagement day. Each year on January 28th, Global Community Engagement Day seeks to encourage organizations, individuals, businesses to better engage with their community, to get to know individuals who may be different from them, to get to learn and understand one another, to build relationships. These include relationships locally, faith-based, with cultural groups, voluntary groups, and even virtual groups. So on this day, coming off of yesterday, recognizing International Holocaust Remembrance Day, I think it's a real better place to be. I do want to make a couple of announcements. I want to thank our own who's here today for signing up to be our Rotary captain for our club. I'm looking forward to a great day of service with the crew and our friends from around the county of Rotary in mid-August. We will next month have our annual governance day. That begins on next Friday. We'll be joined by the mayor of Flint. Later in the month, we'll be joined by Dominic Flint, our own, who's now the chair of the county board, Rob Jewell, who's the chair of that group, is working with Cash Utilities office in those days for some of the arrangements with members of our state legislature. I know that Amy Krug has an announcement to make, but before I bring Amy up, I'm just curious if anyone on the Zoom, or President Elizabeth, there's an announcement I may have forgotten to make. And if not, one announcement just to let everyone know, earlier this month, the board approved a grant to the Flint University of Michigan to support the audiovisual development here in this room. So Flint has a program, we talked about it with them, and we're going to cost share to have video of the room, and then some drop mics to take a part of that as well. So that some of the volume and question and answer to make this more of a interactive experience for not only yourself, frankly, but also for all of those who use this room, this space. As President Amy Krug with a announcement for all of us
today. Not even as tall as I tried. I just wanted to share with you some sad news. Ellen Brother's father, Walt, died after a brief but rather brutal fight with cancer. So Walt was a veteran and an avid lover of animals and a great community person. And he was one of his best friends. It is, she's very sad, but also very appreciative of the love and support. So I just wanted to share that news with everyone. Just keep Ellen in your thoughts, please.
Thank you, Amy. And Ellen is, we all love Ellen, we appreciate her service to all of it. Even as she was going through this month, she's been with us in the Rotary service, she can still send me a text of, you know, I can't or can't. So we understand, we got you. We certainly keep Ellen and her family very awesome. Anything, other items for health and welfare? If not, then I get to do something fun. I am wearing my new member sponsor. That's very important. Oh, wait, before I do that, sorry. One thing I forgot. I mentioned in my weekly message that in the magazine this month, the Rotary magazine, there was a great article I thought on resilience and how to bounce back. And I think for all of us, whether it's COVID or the water crisis or just life in general, some great tips on how to improve your own resilience or for those in your family. So don't just do the crossword puzzle with the pictures. The article. Could I ask my friend, I was thinking about it, I think we met in September 1995. Could I ask Raphael Turner to join me? Raphael, the ideal of Rotary is service, and our motto is service above self. The object of this club and all Rotary clubs is to encourage and foster this ideal as a basis of worthy enterprise. In particular, we encourage and foster the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service, high ethical standards in business and professions, the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life, and the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace throughout the world. Raphael, you are now, again, part of this effort. Accordingly, we welcome you as a quasi-new member to our club. It is an opportunity for all of us to remind ourselves that we are judged from the Rotary four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. So I know we did it earlier, but if you could join me again in reciting the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good, will it build friendships? Will it be beneficial to us? Raphael, please remember that you have been admitted not only to the Rotary Club of Flint, to a worldwide association, and by virtue of your membership in this club, you are welcome to the fellowship of Rotary clubs around the world. Fellow Rotarians, please join me in welcoming your newest member, Raphael Turner. Raphael has a new badge. He's had a career changes since the last time he was in our club. And after you also show to the folks on Zoom. See. Do that. I'm not actually going to give you your pad. This is not if you forget the 4-way. Say words or just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to all my fellow Rotarians. It feels good to be back. To see so many friendly faces in the room reminds me of that table when we were at service and my lifelong friend North Crowley. And so just I think that way when I see this room and seeing lifelong friends and family that are in this room. So happy to be back. Looking forward to service with this club.
I'm gonna exert presidential privilege. I'm gonna get in trouble. On behalf of the other people. Oh, okay. Judge and my family go back. So I like something my dad and Rick did along the way. Thank you, Rick. So if you would like one of these fancy Rotary pins with the red sponsor name under it, all you have to do is sponsor a member. So all of us can have that nice pin as well. Red sponsor tag. Thank you, Raphael, for joining our club again, and also thank you for paying my dues out of your budget because it's part of membership month. Appreciate that. When he started, I said, "Hey, here's the sponsorship. You've got discretion on some of these. This one, you got discretion on your thing." I have the pleasure now of recognizing our January birthdays. Could I have a sergeant at arms or potentially a past president? And that's who would collect the thank you, past President George. Thank you. I was looking in their general direction. Yeah. So as I maybe just there are a couple of folks here. That's by design. First said he wasn't on camera that way. Is it fair to all concerned? On January 1st, so New Year's Day birth, Bob and Manji. January 3rd, Rita Smith. January 5th, Ellen Brothers. January 9th, Rob Bennett. January 18th, Lonnie Maxwell Cook. January 21st, Jessica Sampson, who I think I saw on Zoom. Jessica, I don't know if you can unmute and say hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, great.
Howard Downing Jr. on the 25th. Bring your dollar, Howard. Thank you. Jessica, we're not going to have you PayPal $1 because that's probably $1 fee. So, well, just next time you're in, put that January 29th, Dan Crane. And you're not alone because on January 30th, which is Sunday, Julie Presence, who's been a member for 26 years. She started as a Rotary actor. Years ago. I'm going to step far back from the microphone and ask you to join me in singing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Well, if you want to get some more money to put in the red cup, Fred Hines can help you with that, I think. So I'm gonna call Fred up for the 50-50, and I will ask Randy Cook Brown if he would do the honors of throwing the winning tickets at the property.
I got my cool hand right off last round. What we have here is failure to communicate. What the understanding is, I need your money. Period. Would you like to come up with me? And the other guy. Oh, one.
For third place, 81746. 81746. 81746. Did someone put both of their cards in? Let's try again. Yeah. Yeah, Fred can't keep it. No, that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Third place, let's try it again. 81579. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh. All right, so we can't keep it, right? Keeps third place. Okay, so that one's, so you keep the third place, then the 81579 becomes your second place. Sure. Okay, let's try to go on.
And
For first place, if Gina Reginald was suspicious. All right, first place, 81750. 7.
Thank you.
Jerry Brandy's gonna email you the address for the VIP. Okay. We'll promote, continue the good work that they're going on. Yes.
I believe in the Rotary principle of loyalty.
I do, as we go on with the program, I want to recognize our guests to be welcome, and I think we do have a few guests on Zoom. And so, President Elizabeth, would you want to introduce our Zoom guests?
I would be happy to. I know I've got a couple guests from Ruth Mott Foundation. We've got Trafina Clark here, who is the Community Engagement Officer, as well as Kenneth Frierson, who is a Program Officer. And I see that we've also got Burton Brown here. And did I miss any guests on the Zoom? I think that's all from Zoom.
All right, and Burton is on. I saw Burton log in. In the room, we don't have any guests because we're close to Liberty. Now I'm gonna call up the committee leaders.
Well, good afternoon, Rotarians. We listened, the program committee listened to what you said earlier, and that was you particularly enjoyed hearing from business owners and entrepreneurs. And so, as you can recall, we started with David Gaines with his sharing, and we're going to continue that, intersperse this as we go forward. But today we're going to talk to someone who has this entrepreneurial effort and spirit for us. And she's really no stranger to us, but I will introduce her and read a bit about her. Brandy Cook Brown is the executive director of 100K Ideas. She joined the organization shortly after they opened in 2017 and became the executive director in 2020. Now, she's originally from Lansing, and attended the University of Michigan and received her bachelor's degree in psychology. After graduating, she became an AmeriCorps member through the Michigan College Advising Board, working as a college advisor in her role to help students from high school to matriculate from high school to her alma mater. Afterwards, she did that for 2 years. Afterwards, she spent a brief stint in the private sector before joining 100K Ideas. And over the years, she has helped to focus the organization's purpose and work to ensure all Flint residents have access to entrepreneurship. She recently had the pleasure of sharing the organization's journey at the 2021 TEDx Detroit event last November. Now, Brandy resides in Grand Lake, Michigan, with her husband, Burton, who is online. I don't know why I can't see, but it's okay. Okay, and also, okay, and also resides with a beautiful little 3-year-old Kenny. So let's give her a hearty Rotarian welcome, Brandy Cook Brown.
Yeah, afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you, Lynette, for that beautiful introduction. So I'm incredibly excited to be here and grateful that I was able to come in today and share with you a little bit about our work, but also give you some highlights on who we've been working with. So that's why I like to start with a brief look at entrepreneurship. And by brief, it is brief because it's quite extensive, and I want to make sure that you guys. So 100K is quick overview. Some of you know, so I didn't want to spend too much time on that part of the presentation, but we were founded in 2017, and we were opened in conjunction with the opening of the renovated Fair School building downtown. Our goal is pretty simple. We want to relieve the innovator of the entrepreneurial work. So that is essentially, entrepreneurship is difficult. For anybody who's tried to start a business or has started a business, that journey comes with ups and downs, and unfortunately, not everyone is equipped on their own to handle that journey. So what we want to do is be able to provide a place where innovators with an idea can go, can learn if this is something that can move forward, and be their support system along their journey. We do this by starting with the vetting process. We don't simply say good idea, bad idea. I think that simplifies things. And how many of us have seen things on Asking Not to Be, and you're like, how the heck did that sell? And yet it does. It makes a ton of money. So that's not our place to judge. Again, we're judgment free. Want to be a place where people can be open and honest. And on average, most people we talk to have held their ideas into themselves roughly about 15. And the weight lifted off of their shoulders when they finally get to share is something I can't even describe. And the other half of our mission is we have a workforce development focus. So to do all of this amazing work of vetting on ideas, we have our current college students. And it's their job to work as project managers, graphic designers, engineers, and industrial designers to support these entrepreneurs along their journey. So they're the ones doing the road work. We make sure we don't go too far off track, but we give them the liberty to grow in this role and be prepared for that next level of their career. So to date, this is the important part. What have we done? So to date, we have actually heard 738 ideas, which I think is pretty impressive since we've only been open since 2017 and have been dealing with COVID. So, and from those 738 ideas, we have
and he said he would support.
We have actually vetted in terms of doing actual research and looking into 605 ideas. And from there, we were able to move 150 of these ideas to what we call our next step services. And that's the part where our engineers and our designers get to get a lot more attention. They're helping people create their branding, build their website, develop their logos. Our engineers are helping design the products, do the CAD design, and actually prototype things that people can test the market with. And in addition to our actual work that we're doing, we did a lot to outreach into the community. So starting with our office hours initiative. So while we are housed in the beautiful Ferrisville and we absolutely love our space, we also recognize there was a little bit of a barrier to access to our location. So to correct that and make sure everyone had the ability to receive our services in a more convenient way, we spread out to 3 additional locations in the city. So once a week, we're at the Flint Development Center on the north side, First and Field House also on the north side, and the Linux Technology and Community Center on the east side of the Another response to feedback we were getting is a lot of people had questions about, well, how do I get funding? What do I need to know to get a business loan? What do I need to know to do a pitch deck? Because I want to talk to investors. And we realized we're having a lot of these one-off conversations, so we decided, how about we just do workshops? So once a month, we do a workshop that is actually led by an industry expert. It's rare that a hunter can itself leads, because really our goal is to make connections for these entrepreneurs, the people who are in the industry, to expand their own networks and be able to move their idea forward. It's all very intentional how we connect. Next, we also, with the support of the Rock Foundation, we're able to launch an office hours innovation grant. So this grant is specifically for North Flint residents to give them a little bit of capital to move forward. One thing that we've noticed, even as an ecosystem as a whole, there are so many individuals who are not in a place to ask for a loan. And in fact, they really don't need a ton of money, right? They might need $1,000 to maybe $5,000 to just buy a piece of equipment, to get their business cards, to do something small just that will help them launch and be able to pilot. So we're able to open this office hour grant program that would provide gap funding in the amount of $1,000 to 10 North Flint innovators in the state, obviously free business, but give them a little bit of capital to give them a stepping stone to move forward. And then lastly, probably one of our more popular initiatives is the pitch competition called Pitch for Pay. Through the generous support of the CS Mott Foundation, we host 3 competitions a year where people in idea stage, if they are in business, we do look for a year or less, to compete for up to $5,000 for the first place prize. They are paired with mentors throughout this process so that they can get, again, an industry connection for the place they're looking to enter. They are also given a pitch clinic facilitated by the University of Michigan Flint Innovation Incubator, and they're going through a ton of run-throughs in order to prep for that actual competition. And we were very excited because last week was our first one for the year, and we were able to give away $5,000 for the first place winner, $2,500 for second place, $1,000 for third place, and then we have for the viewing audience is able to award somebody $1,000. So we're very excited. I like giving away money. All right. And in terms of our successes, so since we started, we've helped create 43 businesses, and we've supported 122 businesses that were already in existence, and helped individuals secure over $1.6 million in follow-up. So I like saying these stats. This is usually, the big ones that people want to know. But I thought what would be even better is you guys can hear a little bit about these journeys and the people we're helping directly from. Oh, sorry, not on this slide yet. I'll get there. But before we hear their stories, there are a couple of things that we have that I always think are important to mention. One, people literally start small businesses in the community. We're talking 1 to 10 employees. That is how they're getting going. They're able to sustain themselves and their families off of the income they're starting their business with. And I think that's important to know, especially in this community, because I've never seen a community that supports local like this one. And so for those that are doing that, just know it really does make a difference. There are also many people who start their businesses simply from a hobby that they have. Not really are venturing to create something huge that they have no experience in. A lot of times they have the experience, they have the knowledge to do it, but again, starting that business is their own. And then lastly, this community always finds they're incredibly resilient. They find resources to make it work. They scrap together dollars to get to that next step. And then again, we're just happy to be an organization that connects them to those resources and provides some of them to help them move forward. All right, on to our storytelling project where you actually get to hear from somebody. This is a new initiative we launched. One of the things I always was asked is, who are you working with? And being an organization that listens to ideas, we do have to make people feel comfortable sharing their ideas. So we provide legal documents such as NDAs. They know we're not going to share anything or steal their idea. But for a few clients, they're willing to share their story to talk about not just how we help them, but really about their journey. And we thought this was the best way to kind of exemplify that. So 3 clients a quarter get highlighted. We released our first video in January on YouTube, and it's actually been viewed over 2,000 times. So we're actually very proud of it. You're going to get to see a snippet right now, but the full video is available on YouTube. So make sure to check it out.
LJ Essentials really began simply as a hobby. I wanted products that were safe for myself, that were effective, that smelled good, that felt good, and I wasn't able to find that anywhere locally. I've had eczema since I was 2 years old, and when I was 14, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Now the eczema and the Crohn's disease combined, bad situation for my skin. So I was finding that a lot of the prescription ointments that I was receiving, a lot of the creams that I was using, and a lot of the products in general were making my conditions worse. So instead of complain, I decided to take action and take things into my own hands.
My idea for the Golden Balance at first was to start, some sort of restaurant because I always loved to cook. And then that all led me to social media. What got me into food and wanting to turn food into a business was I always wanted to start a restaurant. So Middle Easterners and Arabs are known for their hospitality. If you get invited to our house, we're gonna try to feed you, we're gonna try to do all that good stuff. So for me, it was just kind of like ingrained in me that I loved hospitality. It all led to this, this passion of I want to feed people. I always was on social media at the same time. You can tend to such a large audience through social media. It's such a glorious thing if it's used in a proper way. So for me, it was just like, I could take my passion for food. I'm an average Joe that's learned how to cook just through experience. I'm 24 years old, I'm a business student, but I cook at night and I do it for fun.
So John O Logistics is a freight brokerage firm that helps businesses move product from point A to point B. It's B2B business. Most of our customers may not operate or own their own fleet. So they call us and they ask us to provide drivers and or carriers to make sure their product, once again, gets from point A to point B. But what we love to tell our customers is that we're not moving freight, we're not moving product, we're moving your brand. It's your brand on the back of that truck. And if it isn't on time, that means your brand isn't on time, which means that your customers are gonna lose value and respect for you, and we don't want that to happen. So they rely on us to be reliable, they depend on us to execute, and they depend on us to be dependable, right? So that's what we do for our clients. We do it with pride, we do it with dignity, and we do it together.
If you want to see more, it is available if you go to our YouTube page. And just to highlight a couple of things about these individuals, Anna Johnson, the first woman you saw, she actually was in our very third pitch competition and took home second place. So using that money, she was able to establish her brick-and-mortar business and expand her reach. She actually just received a grant from the Pistons in Detroit. So she's moving and doing fantastic things. Ahmad Al-Zahabi had an interesting story. The Golden Balance. He is actually, I guess, YouTube. He has like over 1 million followers on social media and is doing crazy things. Born and raised right here in the city. He actually worked for 100K, quit to do that. I was not supportive. No. He was great and worked. I'm incredibly proud of him. The John L. River actually a group of brothers that started that organization, born and raised on North Flint, and their journey to entrepreneurship and what inspired their business. It was incredible. So you'll get to hear all of that. And so really to kind of wrap up what's next for our organization, I would like to say thankfully, but then also because I'm tired, we're not slowing down. So we're still growing and we're moving. Our next storytelling project, you guys can look forward to, is being released next month. We've already got our footage and we're just getting it fine-tuned. So you'll get to see again from another set of 3 entrepreneurs we've worked with who are doing amazing things in this community. We also have our next Pitch for Cake competition coming up in May. We actually released it May 11th, and we're currently accepting submissions. I put this on here because if anybody is interested in being a mentor or a judge, we are always looking for volunteers. So you can definitely another fantastic initiative we have going on that's actually not super public, so you guys get to get a little bit of a sneak peek. We partnered with the city of Flint to create Shop Point, an online marketplace platform that'll be a one-stop shop for Flint-based businesses. So those who have inventory and products to sell that are out of Flint, we're going to put them in one spot. So people from here, maybe elsewhere, and they want to support Flint. In addition to all of the great things we do with entrepreneurs, we also host a fellowship for current college students that will be happening in the summer, and also under our 100 Kids umbrella, where we support youth programs, and we'll be doing our high school experience in the summer as well. So anybody with high schoolers, be on the lookout for that. And then before last, we have our alumni members. So as you can see, Ahmad is one of those students that's on entrepreneurship to be his journey. We have many more students like that, and those that are things. So we're looking to formalize that structure. Workforce development is a huge part of our organization. So we're going to start doing more professional development with them, providing network opportunities, and really trying to support those students once they're outside of our doors a little bit more. And then last, I'm excited to announce, which also is not super fun to see, I forget all of these today, is we also get a fundraiser. So this is not something we've done before, but we really would love to create a space where people can actually see everything we've done, not just these snippets on social media and these clips on YouTube, but get a chance to really learn about our organization, the growth we've had since we opened. So we're incredibly excited about that, so stay tuned. And with that, are there any questions?
Great, that's a great presentation. Either on Zoom or in the room.
You don't want to? I can give you enough.
Although I have to do it. I know 2 of the 3 guys in town. In the back.
Yep, so the question was, do we typically work with individuals and cohorts and we kind of group them together through the process? Or do we work with them as they kind of come in? For the most part, it's direct. So as they come in, they make an appointment to work with us. We typically work one-on-one, but that's another thing that hopefully will become down the pipeline. It does actually create a formal structure. One gap we've noticed with our current services is some people just need a little bit stronger than that and a support system to get through. So we want to try putting, people together that are in the same phase and in the same part of their journey to kind of feed and encourage each other throughout, so many people would make it very different. Yeah, and so the question was, do we have people who have already tried to start a business and just haven't been successful? And yes, all the time. We a lot of times get people that have been kind of frustrated with their lack of progress, or they've had a bump in the journey that is catastrophic and it's really turned them off to the idea. So we start simple. We try not to overwhelm them. We really work in chunky next steps in 2 to 3 phases. And really to encourage them. And sometimes it is having kind of that realization, like, okay, so maybe this isn't the one, right? Maybe this isn't the idea you move forward with. Maybe you have to modify it a bit. Maybe we need to understand who you're marketing to. Let's figure out the problem. So that does happen quite a bit. The one thing I can't say that I'm proud of is that whenever people leave, they really do leave encouraged. Like, it's not, and even if they're done with our services and they're going on to like the next phase without us, they still leave encouraged and motivated to keep moving forward. They see it's possible. So I was asked, is there a cost to our services? So we were set up to charge for our services in a specific structure. So our initial assessment is $200, and then we have next step services that we either do one-off. So if somebody just needs a logo, we'll charge you $40 an hour for that logo. Or if you need a lot of services because you need your whole branding built from ground up, we'll do services for $100. But what is fortunate, we actually have 2 opportunities. So Huntington Bank has been a fantastic partner most of the year. So we've been able to grant scholarships to people. So that cuts the binder fee down to $25 and cuts our next step services down half. There's sometimes ways that we work with people because we know that is a challenge, but we also do believe in having skin in the game and being invested in your idea. So it's, that balancing act. But we're also a part of the City of Flint's Community Navigator program. I'm not sure if you guys saw, they were awarded $1 million from the SBA to create a hub and spoke structure. So we're actually a part of that. So we're a spoke under their hub. And through that program, we actually are able to offer currently free services to Flint residents. So the assessment binder and next step services are waived because of that program.
Any other questions? Seeing none, and someone, we're gonna ask, where's Burton? You can see Burton's picture right there. That's why we didn't want to see that.
It used to be Kenny. He changed it. Now it's Well, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it.
And the contribution in your name has been donated to the National for the Eradication I want to thank for their service, Julie Brzezinski for inspirational message, Howard Downing, set up and takedown. Thank you, Howard. Vanetta, thank you again for the great introduction of our speaker. Jessica, thank you for taking bulletin notes, and Elizabeth for being our Zoom host. Also, thank you, George, for being our sergeant at arms for the 50-50, and thank you, Fred, for allowing the front table to win all of the prizes. Please join us next Friday. As I mentioned, we begin our governance month. And so we'll have an update for Mayor Sheldon Neely, the city of Flint, with an update on all things going on. So please join us, and please invite a guest as well. Please remember to go out and serve to change lives. And we are adjourned.